Well, naturally I'm gonna see what I can get away with. I don't really have a good idea of how far I have to go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to walk this. This is a pretty solid mountain, actually. It's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but with all this breeze, it's actually been kind of chilly up here. Man, it got dark fast. It's like kind of creepy in here. No frost this morning. I think nighttime temperature stayed up around 35 degrees. Still a little difficult to get out of the warm sleeping bag, but overall I'm pleasantly surprised. Site's just the way we left it. Time to load up the boat and get out of here. Okay, time for an extremely brief paddle just down to the bridge over there, and then an equally brief 85-meter portage into Turtle Pond. In the boat right at 9 a.m. this morning. In the summertime, this would be a bit of a late start, but considering the sun hasn't been up for 2 hours, I'd say we did all right this morning. Apparently when water levels are higher, you can bring your canoe down the culvert and avoid this portage, but there's like maybe an inch or two of water in there, so it'll just be a scrape fest. Fortunately, the portage is short, so not a big deal. I think even 85 meters is a bit of a stretch for that one. Maybe 85 feet. Not complaining. Alright, this is Turtle Pond. Another beauty. I'm going to paddle across this to the choke point between this pond and Slang Pond, which I'm gonna have to line because it's too shallow to run, which is fine. Lining is better than portaging, so hopefully we can still get away with it with water levels the way they are. I slept okay last night. I was in the tent for about 9 hours, but I woke up a lot. Usually happens to me on the first day of a trip. I'm just not used to it. It's about 9:30 now. That portage marked the southern boundary of the St. Regis Wilderness area. Looks like I'm coming up to the choke point. Well, naturally I'm gonna see what I can get away with before I have to get out. I think I can make it through this initial section at least. Maybe not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to walk this. Okay. I'll get my line. Come now, dearest. Ooh, it's pretty over here. Wow. Alright, let's see how far I can get away with here. These are really interesting trees. They look like evergreens, but they're yellow. How cool. I think this means we're in Slang Ponds now. So we're gonna head down to the end here, do a roughly 350 meter portage, and then we'll be in Long Pond. Gonna take a look at the map for a minute. Okay, here's Hoel Pond. Here's where we camped last night. Here was the little portage. This is Turtle Pond. And then that's where we had the line. So we're here now. And it looks like we go to the, looks like the southwestern edge. Yeah, 351 meter portage to Long Pond. Now the hike is over here to Long Pond Mountain. So what I'm thinking is it would be nice to end up in one of the sites over here. I'm gonna shoot for number 8 way back in the cove over here, but I think any one of these 5 sites will do. It's on the other side of this hump over here. I'm gonna have a snack break while I'm out here. Why rush it? What do we have? Oh yeah. Brought so much food. We've barely eaten any of it. What else do we have? First time I had one of these was during my Newfoundland's motorcycle road trip, which was 8 years ago now. But I've been buying them ever since. They're so good. I've seen like 3 fish jump over there in the last 5 minutes. I wish I had a pole with me. It just happened again, 4 times. It's so cool to just be able to hang out in a place like this. Time for our next portage. I can see the sign right down there. Fortunately, nowhere near as long as yesterday's. Canoe carried along pond. Gorgeous. That portage wasn't bad at all. Just 351 meters. And it's almost entirely downhill, so that'll help with the canoe. I did start by bringing the canoe first, but what I realized during a long portage to Hoel Pond is that I don't really have a good idea of how far I have to go. So I started carrying my gear first so I can get an idea kind of mentally of how long the portage is and like prepare for that when I have the canoe. I think I like this way better. That wasn't bad. Pretty quick. One thing I didn't realize yesterday is that I was carrying 3.5 liters of water with me. And I was carrying it in the backpack that I'm carrying when I'm portaging the canoe. So it's just a ton of extra weight, completely unnecessary. So now I just have the 1.5 liter bottle filled. I think that made that a little bit easier, which was nice. The cove I'm aiming for is right across the way here. We'll go over there and see if we can find a spot. That looks like Long Pond Mountain. That's the one we're gonna hike later. It's so quiet. So I can see the sign for the trail right down there. That'll go up to the peak. And the site I want is down at the end of this cove here. Nice. According to the map, there's a small pond on the other side, and I think I can see it, so maybe go check that out. Oh shoot. Wow, that is really pretty. Can't really get to it. This is actually just soggy moss in water. So this type of shelter is more what I had in mind for this weekend. It was just late yesterday and I was tired, so the tent was a lot easier, but there's a nice flat spot right here when I'm sleeping, we're gonna have a nice view to the pond, which will be cool. It is a little breezy right now though, so I'm gonna hold off on setting up the pad and the sleeping bag because I don't want those to fly away on me. Well, everything's pretty much set up. We got here at just before noon. It's now 12:30, so we have tons of daylight left, which is really neat. I'm gonna start scavenging for firewood, and I'll start cutting some logs for tonight. I'm also gonna filter some water and have some lunch, and then whatever time remains, I'm going to maybe set up the hammock and read for a little while. And I'll do that till about 3 p.m., which is when I wanna hop back into the boat and head over to the hiking trail. That should give us enough time to get to the top of the mountain just in time to see sunset, which I think will be really cool. And then when we're done, we'll hike back down, paddle back here, and then all the wood should be set up for us so we can have a fire and dinner and a nice little evening. There are a few logs right on the site here that I'm going to cut up first. That's a decent start, but I'm going to go look for more. It's a decent pile. I'm gonna go see if there's anything else out there. Same as the one yesterday. It's a little punky on the outside, but the center is good. All right, that'll do nicely. All right, we got a pretty solid wood pile for tonight when we get back from the hike. It's 1:15 now. I'm gonna set up a hammock, do a little reading, and just lounge for a bit before we head out. Probably won't get too much out of that, but it's worth a try. Gotta head a short way up the coast here on the left to get to the trail. So we're right here. The sign says Canoe carried a mountain pond, which does make sense, but at Mountain Pond we'll turn right and get the rest of the way up there. Still breezy here this afternoon, as you can see. It's a pretty tough canoe carry. Not only is it over 1,100 meters, but it's also kind of narrow and tricky footing in some sections, and it's almost entirely uphill. Now there is one campsite out here. This is Mountain Pond. So if you get the site, that's great. You're super secluded, you get the place to yourself. But if it turns out to be occupado, you have a long way back down. Beautiful spot though. Sign back there said it's another 1.4 miles to the summit. It's only 3:30 now and sunset's at about 6 p.m. so we actually have a ton of time. Trail is relatively flat at first, but I'm about halfway between the summit and Mountain Pond now, and it just started going straight up. The colors out here are so beautiful though, so I don't even care. Nice. Certainly seems like this is it. A little bit of a path there. Yeah, let's check it out. I'll come back over here for sunset because the sun's gonna set right back that way. But for now, I think the view's a little better on the other ledge. It was just under 2 miles. It'll be 3.5 mile round trip, and made it to just over 25 feet. So this is a pretty solid mountain actually. But I brought snacks, I brought my book, I brought my chair. I'm just gonna hang out till the sun sets. Pretty much what I would have been doing at camp anyway. It's 4:45 now. The hike took right about an hour. Not too bad. Pretty steep, but the views are worth it. I can't really make out what I'm looking at out there. There's so many ponds and lakes and rivers that it's hard to tell which is which, but it's beautiful all the same. Absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna start heading back though because I don't want to get stuck in dark out here. It's 5:30, it's gonna be dark in about an hour, and I still have to canoe back even after I hike down, so we'll head out now. Unfortunately, the wind hasn't let up at all, as you can probably hear. It's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but with all this breeze, it's actually been kind of chilly up here. It might make for an interesting canoe ride back to camp, we'll see. Man, it got dark fast. It would have been nice to stay a little longer on the summit and actually watch the sunset, but Glad we left a little sooner than that. We're well past Clear Pond now. We should be at the canoe any minute, but it's like kind of creepy in here. I'll be happy when I get back to the canoe. Oh no, my tarp fell down. Everything's still here. The line's still attached to the stake. Easy fix, just tied it back up. That pole shortened because I guess I didn't twist it hard enough or something. I think we timed that pretty well. There was just enough light left when we got back to the canoe to paddle back to the site without too much issue. We got the fire going now. Happy that I prepped everything before we left. I'm just gonna get changed, make some dinner, and chill out. Today was a great day. Couple of portages, couple of really beautiful ponds. It was a little windy today, but we got to do that hike, which was awesome. And see sunset up above 2,000 feet. Had a lovely fire tonight. Had more wood than last night, so it went till about 10 p.m. tonight. It's a little after 10 now. Tomorrow we start by crossing to the south end of Long Pond, and then we embark on the longest portage of the loop. But if all goes well, it should be the last portage of the loop. So there is that at least. Anyway, we'll worry about that tomorrow. But for now, time for bed.